Hello and welcome. This is gonna be a build guide for Ailment stacking build, also using Bladestorm as, let's say, main damage skill, because it has some little synergy between ailments. And also I am using Force Shield as my health. So yeah, you heard that right. So they finally fixed some passive nodes on the talent tree, so you can actually play as a Force Shield as your health right now. But there's still one bug that they didn't fix. So if you die and respawn, you will lose all your force shield and you will only have some health. So because this is a force shield build, we don't have much health. So if you die, you need to be very fast and move away from the area you just respawned and recover and then continue like that. So it's a little pain, but you don't die much because, as you can see, we have a very big force shield health pool. And once you are comfortable with the playstyle and comfortable with the expedition level you are doing, you will be fine. But you can always wait for the patch. Probably they will fix next week, I hope. And you can play as health, as life, as your main health. So you can still play the build. Let's start with items. So let's first start with weapon and offhand, then I will talk about the general stats that you want on your armor, and then lastly jewelry. So for your weapon, you want a one-hand, because we are also gonna use a catalyst to cast spells. So this build uses spells and attack at the same time. So that's why you need a melee weapon and a catalyst on your offhand. So I have this dagger right now. It has critical damage, elemental ailment chance score, that can also be material ailment chance score, which is fine. Some flat damage to increase the damage even further, and also material damage on attacks with this weapon, so it also increases that base damage. So that's why this dagger deals so much damage. You can of course get a better one. This is not the best. If you can get one with triple material damage or something like that, I'm sure that will deal more damage. So just focus on damage and maybe ailment chance score, because that is very huge. You can see the percentage is very high. Transfer time also is good, but you don't need that much if you are playing with this unique catalyst that I'm gonna talk about now, because this normally the catalysts reduce your transfer time, I believe, but this one is unique, so it doesn't lower your transfer time. That's why the transfer time on our weapon isn't that important, because we can get 3 gems on our jewelry. Each has 25% decrease, and that's enough actually. So about this catalyst, what does it do? So if you don't have this, of course you can still play the build, don't be afraid. What does this do? Attacks gain 28% damage from the last spell cast. The damage type is the same as the last spell cast, so this means whenever you cast a spell, you will get similar damage bonus on your attacks. So this has some synergy between our spells and the Bladestorm. It doesn't have to be Bladestorm, by the way. You can play with another attack maybe, but Bladestorm is very mobile and easy to use. That's why I went with it. You can also play Bleeding Edge. Yeah, Bleeding Edge again. But we played enough Bleeding Edge, so I think that's enough. So that's why Bladestorm is another approach right now. If you don't have this catalyst, just go with a legendary or maybe a very good rare. You can also upgrade it from dark market later. So just focus on ailment chance. You can get some maybe burn damage or maybe poison damage, whatever you are dealing, to increase your dot damage even higher. Also spell crit, spell damage, they can also be good. So try to focus on those kind of stats if you don't have this offhand. So for armor, most pieces has similar stats actually. So what you are gonna look for, let's say, the main stat is, of course, to increase your DPS, percentage damage. There is also material damage and occult damage, so they only focus on one type of damage. So percentage damage is the way to go, because we are dealing both material and elemental damage at the same time. So other than that, try to get force shield, of course, because this build is, right now I'm playing the force shield version. If you are gonna play like this, you need sorcerer base items, or maybe a rogue. Rogue is also fine. You can also get dodge on those. That can be a little different play style, as talking about defenses, because you will have some dodge. Right now, if you are playing as a sorcerer items, with sorcerer items, you don't have any dodge. So you can use rogue base or sorcerer with some force shield on it, percentage damage, resistances if you can, and the rest is ferocity, crit chance, wisdom, ailment chance. These are the main stats. Also toughness is nice to increase your health. So for helmet, it is important to get one with heavy base with very high resistance, because we are gonna talk about it again at when I am explaining talent tree. But basically there's a node on the tree that doubles your resistance on your helmet and body armor, but we are gonna use a sorcerer based body armor because it has a lot of force shield. That's why I picked that. But you can do the opposite if you want, or maybe you can even play with both a helmet with heavy base and also a body armor with heavy base if you want, but you will have less force shield. But you can go for that and try. It's up to you. So to get that double resistances, try to get a heavy base helmet. That's what I'm trying to say. Also for helmet and body armor and pants, you can get cooldown. I currently have cooldown on only 2 pieces, so you can get that on your 3 separate pieces if you want, but 2 is fine right now for me, so I am comfortable with that. So lastly, jewelry, so rings, amulet and belt. So as you notice that there are some different stats on our jewelry. So where can you get these? So if you know already, maybe not, you can do expeditions by paying 1000 primordial affinity. I believe that's what it's called. So it says untainted, and if you do that, you will get some rank at the end and some items, and some of those items have special stats like these. So if you farm that specific untainted, so they're a little bit pricey. If you don't have primordial affinity, obviously you cannot do that. So you can get these kind of special stats. So this is an ailment build, so +2 ailment stacks inflicted is very nice for us. Also because we are using also an attack, that other mode is also useful. Attacks gain 12% damage from last spellcast. This is basically the same stat that we have on our offhand. So you can try to get these kind of different stats if you can. Otherwise, just use some regular jewelry and try to do those untainted when you have the affinity. And one other thing, you can also use Genesis stones to craft these jewelries. You can use those Genesis stones to craft every kind of piece, but for jewelry, you can only get those +2 ailment and the other special mode on the jewelry. So if you socket in a Genesis stone and then use a crafting orb like Ereban tier maybe to get that one extra mode, that will consume that Genesis stone and you will get a special mode. But there are like 4 different modes on jewelry as far as I know, so you have like 50% chance of getting these modes. There is also a +1 pierce for projectiles, and also something with force shield regeneration with health globes, I believe. So good luck with that if you are gonna, test your chance. And I believe that's about the items. So for attributes, our main stats are ferocity, toughness, and also wisdom. But I didn't invest in any wisdom. This is all from my gear. So let's see our percentage ailment chance. So on our poison, let's check here. It is way detailed. So on anomaly, my burn chance is 51%, which is which is enough. Stat is 42%. So they are different because some of them are occult damage, some of them are elemental damage. That's why. So on my elemental damage, I have 51%, I believe. Yeah. And on occult, almost 40%. And on material, that's the least I have, 36. So that's enough for me. Let's just say that. So I didn't invest in any wisdom. So my main stat was ferocity. Try to get at least 30% chance crit. Then the rest to toughness. You can, if you want, invest in full ferocity to get more crit chance. So depending on how well you are doing, if your health pool is enough, if you think you are doing good and you want that extra damage, just go full ferocity. Otherwise do what I did and invest some in the toughness. So talent tree, let's talk about this slowly so I can try explaining why I get which node, something like that. So first of all, you can go like this and get some critical chance. There is also some critical damage on the way, which is nice, and some attack damage, melee weapon damage that also works for Bladestorm. And then I went like this for shield, cooldown, get this one. Some rage cost, this doesn't matter, you need to get these to progress here, here and here. So what are these? So when force shield is full, you receive decreased damage. So whenever you are on full health, the first hit of course is gonna be 30% decrease, and if you can heal yourself quickly, you can get another 30% decrease. So that's how it works, of course. So this is very nice to get some damage mitigation. So this one, ailment chance score, I went with elemental ailment because these are the ones that are dealing damage mostly, I believe, on this build right now. You can also get maybe material. I don't advise occult, so pick one of these. So this is important. So on force shield builds right now, they fixed the leech, but for some reason the healing isn't enough with only leech. Probably because this is an ailment build, but we are also dealing some burst damage, but I believe it isn't enough to heal that high health pool. So I decided to try this and it works very well. You will notice the difference. Without this, basically you won't be able to survive those high expedition boss fights. You won't notice this mostly at low levels, of course, because that leech is gonna heal you enough. But when you are pushing above 150, 160, that ascended expedition level, you'll notice that this will save you a lot. So this is very important. Get this one. Also get this to increase your healing receive. So this is very important for healing. So then continue like this. So this is again that we just talked about in the items. Attacks gain 30% damage from the last spell. This is all the same thing. So let's just demonstrate it. So right now I'm not doing anything. I have 7k damage. Of course, this is just tooltip. We are not dealing 7k damage. We are dealing way more. So if we use a spell, as you can see, it doubled our DPS because we have so much on our ring, offhand, that passive. If we cast spells, do stuff, that will increase your Bladestorm DPS. And it has a very long duration. You can see that we still have that buff, and now they start dropping. So this is another damage boost. Life leech affects force shield instead of health. So get this one. So damage over time is dealt to your force shield before your health. I believe if you don't pick this one, you will just die from damage over time. So you need to get this one. I haven't tried otherwise, but I believe that is what it does. So get this to not die. And then here, doubles max force shield. If you this is a force shield build, so you need to get this one. So this is how we have a lot of force shield, but this reduces our health, which isn't a problem because we don't have any health on our items. So if you get this, your health will increase, but I don't care, so I didn't get that. So then we are doing some traveling. Get a block chance here. Keep traveling. 25% damage when only one enemy is within a 7-meter radius to get some extra boss damage. And then here some block efficiency, resistances. That minus dodge chance is nothing because we don't have any dodge. You cannot get any dodge on sorcerer gear, so dodge isn't important. So this is what I was talking about when explaining helmet. So if you wear a heavy helmet or chest piece, you will get double resistances. I am using a helmet as heavy base and using sorcerer as chest. You can do the opposite, or you can equip heavy on both of your pieces, because resistances are very important in this game and to survive that high content. So let's check our resistances and you will see. So right now I have 55% reduction, 58, 42. If I take this off, you can see how much resistances I just lost from this helmet. So if you also equip a chest piece, let's see if I have it here. Yeah, this one. So currently I have 150k, yeah, force shield. So let's take this off. As you notice that I lost 50k health. But let's see how much resistances we will get by equipping this. So as you can see, the mitigation is very high. So I'm not sure if equipping both heavy pieces is reasonable, makes sense, but because we lost like 50k health, so that's why I went with body armor with force shield. But maybe you can use resistance chest and a force shield helmet, so you will probably have 120k force shield, which should be enough. But yeah, that's what I did. So then keep going. Can now apply +1 additional ailments. Normally a skill can only deal one type of ailment. If you get this, now you can get 2 different. So you can check each skill to see their own ailment chances. So right now my anomaly has burn and status. My tier of ethereal has burn and shock. And so goes like this, shock and poison. So to get that second ailment, You need to get that talent. So additional information, you need to let's say you have 3 different damage types on your Bladestorm. So you will say that which ailments am I gonna inflict. So you basically deal the highest 2 chosen of that damage pool. If you are dealing 5 different type of damage, you will only deal that 2, of course, more, all the time, the highest 2 type of damage. So try to get the ailment you want as highest. So that's how you are gonna pick your ailments. And then here 50% chance to multiply the number of ailment stacks and even increase the chance higher. So this is very important. Killing an enemy grants 5% damage as corresponding damage type for each ailment stack on that enemy, up to 5 stacks per damage type. You will notice in the gameplay that check the left corner bottom. So there will be like at least 4 or 5 different damage types, damage buffs on you all the time. So these are gonna keep refreshing, getting refreshing whenever you kill a monster, and they last like maybe 20 seconds. So it is very long. So you won't lose those while traveling between packs. So these will increase your damage a lot. So try to inflict different types of damage to get more buffs. So this is very important. So this is they just fixed this 1 day ago. Damage over time triggered with a critical hit deals critical damage. So our dots are also dealing critical damage thanks to this. I didn't pick this one because I have lots of +2 ailment inflict on my jewelry, and this also decreases your burst damage. So Bladestorm will deal less damage if you pick this. So I don't advise getting this. If you don't have those kind of jewelry +2 ailment, you can get this and respect later when you have a better gear. So I also didn't pick this because this also has, you know, more ailment damage but decreases that burst damage. So I didn't want to lower my Bladestorm damage. So there's only like 4 nodes left. So this one is passively generate rage instead of willpower. This is how you have a rage all the time while traveling between packs, you know, while just entered the map, you know, you have Bladestorm ready. But of course you need to cast other spells first, which I'm gonna talk about soon at gameplay tips. So this is what, you know, makes it easier to sustain rage. And this also increases your damage when your rage is over 750. So actually if you pick this, you should also get this to increase your max rage. So you will have more uptime on that double damage. But I couldn't find what to give up on the tree, so I didn't get that. I will also share a health tree if you want to play this as a, you know, health, not health, life. Yeah, right. Oh no, it is health. Never mind. So not force shield, a health build. So I will probably get that on that tree. I'm sure I can get it because there are lots of force shield stuff that I need to get for this one. So this is also nice. You can get this to even have higher uptime on that over 750 rage. So global life leech to get some leech on our attacks. We already get spell leech from here, but we need that attack leech, so we need this one. And then finally dire juncture. So I am explaining this finally because I explained the tree like this, but you need to get this as soon as possible. So this is very important to this basically reduces the damage taken. No, not reduces. Let's just read it. You only take 40% damage from an enemy's attack when they hit you. The rest is dealt 1 second after the hit. That just you know, delays the damage, so you have some time to heal yourself. So it is a very big mitigation overall. But this reduces your max health and force shield. So this comes at a cost. but remember to pick this to get that 5% back. So you will play with a 90% health and force shield. And finally, which time cannot heal. So when you hit enemies with status, they take 100% of the hit damage again after a 1.5 delay. So make sure you are dealing status somewhere on your gear. That's very important. If you are not dealing status, you will notice that you are losing a lot of damage. So the damage difference is very obvious. So to check that, just check your buffs while playing and see if you have Aether stacks. If you have Aether stacks, that means you are dealing status from somewhere, and that should be enough. So I believe that's it for the talent tree. For skills and which runes to use. So let's start from left to right. So anomaly. So this is for pulling enemies together. This is basically a crowd control ability, and also makes us easier to kill monsters because it stacks. So the most important runes are let's see, vortex duration. There are some stuff with ailment damage, you can get those. Increase the area effect, it is also nice. And the rest is just, just some little extra crit damage, movement speed. You can pass this if you want. Crit chance. This also is nice. If you don't use that movement speed one, this is also very nice. You can cast 2 vortexes. So you casted one, it's on cooldown, but you can cast one more while this is on cooldown. So this is also nice. You can play with this one. So that's for anomaly. Tear of Ethereal. So this is this skill that deals a lot of ticking damage. So it is stacking those ailments very fast. So this is a normally cold spell. You don't need freeze because it is not dealing any damage. So you need to get this rune to convert it to fire. And the rest is, reduced cooldown, crit chance. You need to get also this one. Otherwise, the skill is something like this. So you need to get this for that continuous damage to stack our dots. So fire damage and this one is a must. The other ones are just for ailment chance, cooldown reduce, crit chance. If you have enough cooldown reduce already, maybe you can get area effect, which is also a little helpful. Maybe crit damage. You can also go maybe damage, those kind of stuff. So Aether jump, this is very important. This is our mobility skill. So we already have, of course, dodge, but we also have Aether jump, and it only has like a 1 second cooldown. It can maybe be a little lower because I don't have cooldown on my chest piece right now. So this is a very good mobility skill, probably the best right now in the game. So what makes it the best? The cooldown is very low thanks to cooldown reduction. You can also get this one. It just removes the cooldown, but it increases the willpower cost each time you use. So once you have enough cooldown, you don't need this one. So just increase its range, inflict status wherever you teleport. Not this one, yeah. So it is good to inflict some status. And this is also, again, status. Reduce cooldown. You get attack and spell cast speed after using the skill. So you can dump your skills faster. So it also helps, to cast faster. And this is very important. Casting this skill removes all crowd control effects. So if you got frozen or stunned, just press your Aether jump and you are out of there. So this just saves you a lot. And finally, increase movement speed after completing a teleport. So this is my current movement speed, and this is after it. So you notice it that barely, but better than nothing. And it is also has a very long duration. Weird. Maybe it is bugged right now. No. Wow, it was very long. Solar Fall. So this is a very popular skill. Tear of Atheliel is also very popular. You probably saw lots of people using these. So because this is ticking a lot, so it also stacks ailments very good. So damage dealt by the area effect increases over time to increase the damage, increase tick rate, ailment chance. So this is what I picked to increase my resistances. So you can see my resistances, and let's get into that. So you can see that our resistances increased because this is a melee build technically, because we are bladestorming. You are in that solar fall all the time, most of the time, let's say. So this helps. So you need this, otherwise this skill isn't like this. You cannot cast and move like this normally. If you don't have this, you need to channel it. So it is basically useless. So you need to get this one to cast it, and it will just go on its own. And this one is very important, reduces the initial cast time, so you cast it faster, I believe. So Infinity Blades, we only use this once to get our buff stacks. They are on the runes, which I'm gonna talk now. You can see that we got some buffs now. So you are not gonna, spam it like this. You just wanna press it once, get that buffs, and then start Bladestorming. So let's talk about those buffs. So first of all, this skill normally is a Aether base skill, so it inflicts status. We already inflict status on Aether Jump and Anomaly. So I picked this rune here to convert that Aether into shadow damage, to get that curse stacks, to get the shadow stacks, because my other skills aren't dealing any shadow damage. So I need this one to get that shadow stacks. So increase the damage of the next attack after using this skill. So we already have some attack damage increase whenever we cast a spell. We talked about earlier those kind of stuff on our talent tree and items. So you also take this one to increase that damage even further. Increase the damage of the skill for each element stack. This is actually useless probably, but there is not much to pick. Maybe I missed something, because we are not dealing this using this skill like this, we just press it once, so it doesn't matter how much damage this deals, because one is also cursed, which doesn't deal any damage. So this is basically useless. So 9 points is actually enough. This is probably bugged right now. Force shield on hit +2. What the fuck? We have 150k. What's gonna do this? Never mind that. So yeah, this is important. Grants a shadow or Aether damage bonus to nearby allies. So this skill basically buffs us. That's what it does. Applies a debuff that increases damage taken by spells. So this skill is for just debuffing the enemy. And finally, Bladestorm. So the reason this skill deals higher damage after we are stacking our ailments, because it has this where is it? Yeah, this rune, Wheel of Pain, increases damage per each ailment an enemy has. So you'll notice that your damage increases when you are fighting monsters that doesn't die that fast, and especially on boss fights. So other runes are increase the chance to inflict ailments. You need this to channel the skill like this, otherwise you cannot channel this. So you need to get this one. So this is very important. We talked about health globes when I am explaining talent tree, this is another reason that I picked Bladestorm. So this has very big synergy between with Force Shield build right now, because we need those health globes to heal ourselves. You can see I have lots of healing from health globes right now. So this skill procs a lot of health globes, so this is very important. Increase crit damage. So this is just a little critical chance bonus, because there is not much to take if you don't take this one. And reduce rage cost and rage generation. You don't need those, so this is the best you can get. And finally, increase damage. And finally, some gameplay tips. Of course, the video was rolling at the background, but I should explain how to approach monsters and stuff like that. So as you notice that we have rage generation from the passive tree I just explained. So first of all, you need to cast your spells before Bladestorm. So whenever you enter a map, or maybe your rage is full, use a willpower and rage flask potions all the time. So when you just first approach a monster, just drink your willpower flasks, put anomaly to get the monsters closer, and then Tear of Atheliel to get those stacks up, and also Solar Fall. So you basically need to cast your spells first, then just one time Infinity Blades to get those stacks, damage buffs, and finally start Bladestorming. So you are running around the map, you found some monsters, drink that willpower flask if you want, bam 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 bam, and then start spinning around. So whenever you have anomaly back, the other skills will fade at that time. This is what happens with my current cooldown. Maybe that will be different for you. So whenever my anomaly is up again, I'm just using like again same skills. So we just use all our flasks because we are not killing anything. So again same stuff. All your skills, one time infinite blades, then spinning again. And this is basically the playstyle. Well, that was a long guide because I covered everything I can. So if I'm missing anything, please leave a comment down below. So overall the build was very fun to play, and it is very different compared to what we played the previous weeks. The synergy between Bladestorm and Ailments is fun, and also Force Shield playstyle is also something different, so I advise you to play it, and you will probably enjoy it as much as I did. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.